welcome to it. Just wanted to make a quick video. We're less than 14 hours away from the first preseason game of the year, and I'm just excited to see the Dolphins play, even if it is preseason. And everybody's just, before you get all excited and freaked out about what's about to happen on the field, don't worry too much. It's not, regular season football. It's just preseason, so I wouldn't expect to see all of our starters on the field. In fact, I probably wouldn't expect to see very many of them. But I'm recording this Thursday night, so tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, August 9th, is going to be Dolphins versus Falcons. And like I said, there's not going to be many starters playing. Tua's not playing. I wouldn't expect Tyreek to play much. I mean, if he does, maybe one possession, just a few snaps, maybe get him one pass or so. There's a lot of players that you probably would want to watch, and there is some position battles in camp. One of the most important ones I want to start off with is Mike White and Skylar Thompson for the second QB slot. And this is a big one, throughout preseason and throughout, it seems like last year too, we signed Mike White to this, I think it's like $3 or $4 million contract, and with him being supposing to be the second string quarterback. And guys, I watched last year. It seemed like Skylar was a better choice to be our second quarterback, our backup quarterback, and this year is more of the same. I will say that it seems like every chance that Skylar has to take over that second string spot, he has these little streaks of inadequacy. And I wish that he would just take that step and kind of just put Mike White down for the count, because I feel like Skylar has a much bigger upside, a bigger uptick. He has a much higher ceiling as well. He's got a heck of an arm, really good arm. It's just he's just got to get more consistent and a little more accurate. And I think that he can, and I think that he's going to be a good backup quarterback for us. And maybe someday down the road in his career, he might even start for a team. Maybe not the Dolphins, since we have Tua, but he might start somewhere. At running back, I think we're pretty much set. We have Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane as our two main running backs. But what's surprising me is I really feel like Jalen Wright is earning that third running back spot, and I think that I'm excited to see him play. I want to see him run the ball. I want to see him and Jeff Wilson, and I want to see which one plays better in this game. You could probably expect both of them to get a good amount of carries during this game, so just keep your eye out on the running back position. And there are a few other ones in there too, but those are the two that are the main ones I'd be looking at on offenses for running backs. Is I would watch Jalen Wright and Jeff Wilson, see which one kind of steps up and stands out. Also, don't forget about Julian Hill. That's another one. He runs so hard, so physical. And last year in preseason, he was killing people. So, looked like a video game player, just trucking everybody. So, watch for him too. Fullback, Alec Ingold. We don't even need another fullback. He's a fantastic fullback. He's a great leader for the team. So I wouldn't even expect anything different there. I would like to see Julian Hill play fullback in this game and see how he does in that position, because he would be another good option just because of how physical of a runner he is, and he's also a pretty good blocker. So something to look at there. Wide receiver, boys, we're set. We have some younger receivers that are in there. Eric Ezukanma's hurt again. I don't even know what to say there. It's a bummer because he's got talent. Malik Washington, I think, is still hurt too. We got Braxton Berrios still, and he's had a really good preseason and a training camp, and I want to see him get a few more touches this year, kind of in the middle across, and even on the seams. I want to see him with some comeback routes, maybe even a wheel route or two. Odell Beckham Jr., of course, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. I mean, those guys are locked in, and I wouldn't expect any of them to play much. Jalen Waddle's obviously got a small little boo-boo. Tyreek and Odell, I wouldn't expect them to play. Odell's got a boo-boo too. And I'll talk about these injuries in a little bit here too, so don't worry too much there. Another one to watch, a receiver to watch here is Anthony Schwartz. He's not getting much talk, but from what I've seen and heard in training camp and from other people on X is that he's turning heads along with River Craycraft. And we all know River Craycraft's deal. He's not super fast. He's not anything super special. He's not huge or anything, but he's a fantastic route runner, and he has amazing chemistry with Tua Tagovailoa. So obviously River Craycraft and Anthony Schwartz, watch those guys in this game and see how they do. For tight end, Durham Smythe and Jonnu Smith. And it has Julian Hill here too, and as a tight end, and there's Julian Hill has also played running back. I want to see him behind in the backfield, kind of like what they're planning on doing with Jonnu Smith, is putting him in the backfield on wheel routes and even handing him the ball in certain situations, like in a fullback position. I want to see Julian Hill do that as well. So that's what I was referencing earlier. Not officially listed as a running back, but he can do the job, and I want to see it. So I'm hoping that Mike McDaniel kind of throws a few things in there like that. Also, during training camp, Jody Fortson has turned some heads as well. So, like I said, this is why I like preseason, is because I get to see all these second, third, and fourth string players fighting for positions on this team, and this is where you find the diamonds in the rough, is during preseason, and this is what I'm excited to see from each position. I'm going to deal with the offensive line last. Holy crap, there's some whole bunch of things I need to unpack there, so we'll just kind of skip the offensive line and come back to that in a second. We don't need to talk about special teams. I mean, we have our special teamers. It's a long snapper is Blake Ferguson. Our kicker is Jason Sanders, and Jake Bailey is our punter. Jason Sanders has been slaying it in preseason, in the training camps, the practice with the Falcons, and I want to see him continue that into the preseason games. He was hitting 50-yarders like they were nothing, and that's what I want to see from him. I want to know that if we line up to kick a 50-yard, 45-yard field goal, that 9 times out of 10 we're going to make it, and that'll add into wins. Trust me. So watch the special teams, and especially with the new rule for kickoffs and kick returns. I cannot wait to watch this and see how our team does unpacking that rule and handling it on the field. Especially, it has Braxton Berrios as our kick returner and our punt returner, and that's all fine and dandy. You know, he does an okay job. But it also has Raheem Mostert listed as the second kick returner. That I want to see, because Raheem Mostert he's got speed. He's got more speed than Braxton Berrios does, and he's got some power. So I want to see Raheem Mostert return these kicks. So hopefully they put him in there. I want to see it, man. They probably won't, because he's our first string running back, and it's preseason. But man, I feel like he could really do well as our kick returner. On defense, we have some injuries still. You know, obviously Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb are still out, and I'm not hoping to rush them back anytime soon. But as far as defensive end goes, we have Calais Campbell, we have Zach Sealer, Isaiah Mack's been doing a great job in preseason, and I want to keep watching him play. I'm excited to watch Isaiah Mack and Jonathan Harris, another defensive end. I'm excited to watch them play. I want to see how they do. For defensive tackles, we have Deshaun Hand and Neville Gallimore. I'm pretty sure I know what we're going to get from Neville Gallimore. Deshaun Hand, he's been around a little bit. He has these moments of brilliance, and then he has these moments of, what are you doing? So I want to see them both play. I want to see how they do. More things to watch on defense. On defense, you could watch almost any position and you're going to see players that need to show something. So hopefully in this game we get to see some stuff from those guys. Cornerbacks, some people say that there's some issues there. I really don't think there is. I know Cater's got his issues in the nickel. Nick Needham has had a fantastic training camp, and he's been around for a few years, and then he's never made it, too far into the starting lineup, but he's there when we need him. He's experienced. He plays well, and everybody seems to like him on the team. So that's huge on defense, especially in the backfield or in the secondary, the defensive secondary. That's huge. Ethan Bonner, he's been incredible. I don't know what else to say. If I had to pick one person on defense that I'm hearing the most about from people posting on Twitter or X, from people who are down at training camp watching these practices, everybody's talking about Ethan Bonner. Also, for right cornerback, Kendall Fuller, I really hope he plays a little bit. I'd like to see how he's doing. His last year in Washington, he got beat deep a lot on long passes, and I'm hoping he kind of gets back to where he was the year before that. So keep an eye on him. Siran Neal, we signed him as a special teamer out of Buffalo. He was pretty much just going to be a special teamer, and he's just working his way up the depth chart. So he very well could wind up getting some play time in cornerback behind Kendall Fuller, and keep an eye on him, especially if he's playing with Jordan Poyer. They already have chemistry from Buffalo, and Siran Neal is turning heads in camp, so watch for him too. Cam Smith's got his injuries. Isaiah Johnson, you haven't really heard much about him. I hope to see him play a little bit so I can have a little bit of a basis for how he's doing, and I could report on that. But as of right now, I don't have much on him. Inside linebacker Jordan Brooks, Duke Riley, and Cam Brown. David Long, Anthony Walker Jr., Channing Tindall. How long have we been waiting for Channing Tindall to do something? To show something? Every year it seems like he's just not with the program. This year seems a little different. Knock on wood. I don't want to ruin it. But man, I'm excited to watch him play tomorrow. And you guys should be too. Keep your eye on Channing Tindall at that inside linebacker position. Just watch him. He's going to get a lot of playing time. See how he does. Anthony Walker and David Long. David Long, as far as I know, is still hurt. I wouldn't really expect to see him playing or dress. But Anthony Walker, watch for him. Jordan Brooks, he might play a little bit, but I wouldn't expect much play time. He's been killing it. He's doing great. Duke Riley, largely watch him to start. He's been growing a little bit the last couple years. Obviously, he's got a lot of room to grow, and let's keep an eye on him and Cam Brown at that inside linebacker position. Outside linebacker, our two starters are out, Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb. So Chop Robinson, Cameron Good, and Ezekiel Vandenberg. Watch Ezekiel Vandenberg. He is good. He needs time. But watch him. That's a guy to watch. Quentin Bell, another one to watch. Watch how he plays. Hopefully he stands out a little bit. We also have, obviously, Emmanuel Ogbah and Mo Kamara. Mo's been doing great in preseason, and let's hopefully he gets some play time. I want to see. He's fun to watch. He's fast. He's strong. I'm excited to watch defense. I'd say I'm more excited to watch the defense in this game than I am in the offense, just because we have our new defensive coordinator, and there's so many new pieces and so many players that have been stepping up in camp. It's going to be fun to see. In the secondary, you have Javon Holland and Jordan Poyer as our safeties. I really wouldn't expect either one of them to play much. Jordan Poyer has a thumb injury. His wife said so, so trust the wife. She also said it's no big deal, and I tend to believe that because Jordan Poyer is a beast and he's tough and he knows what he's doing. So if he doesn't play much, don't worry about it. Marcus May and Elijah Campbell. Elijah Campbell's been stepping up this year too. Watch him. See how he does in the backfield. And I want to see him. I would like to see Elijah Campbell get a safety blitz. That's what I want to see. I want to see Elijah Campbell rushing into the backfield after the quarterback. Mark Perry and Patrick McMorris, another couple of guys to watch. Jordan Colbert, watch them too. Those are kind of guys that are looking for a spot on this team, and there's room in the safety room to be able to make the team. So watch them, look for them trying to stand out a little bit. Our nose tackles, well, we know Benito Jones and Tyre Tart. There's a name that I wanted to mention here. He's a fellow Alaskan, so I had to mention his name. Brandon Peely. He's been on the team for a couple years. He's kind of always been either, last string or a practice squad, and he's stepped up a lot this year. He's getting a lot more play time. He seems a little more, I guess, familiar is a way to put it. Seems like things are really clicking for him this year. I can't wait to see Brandon Peely play. And that's pretty much where we go. I want to address something here. We've talked about who to watch, and in that, don't look for starters in these games, obviously, and understand, please, that this is preseason and there are some injuries. But I will say this: none of these injuries, aside from Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb, none of these injuries are season-ending or super long periods of recovery. These are all small boo-boos and bang-ups. And don't be panicked to know that, everybody on X right now is, there's so many people hurt. What are we going to do? We need to quit the season now. This is trash. All these players, fire the training staff. No. Oh my goodness, just relax. It's preseason. People get banged up. And I tell you what, I'd rather see injuries now than down the road. I'd rather them rest all of our players now and take care of them now and not force them into playing in a preseason game than see them get hurt at the end of the season. So let's take a chill pill. Everybody relax. Don't freak out about the injuries. It's just preseason. We're there to watch the other players try to earn spots on this team. We're not here to watch our first string players, really. We'll see some first string players play, but don't expect too much there. Offensive line play. This is what I needed to get into. And this is, you can already see me, I'm starting to rub my eyes. I played offensive line and defensive line in high school and in college, and I played tight end in college too, but before that I was a lineman, and it's not this is not a place on the team to skimp. And I feel like for years the Miami Dolphins as an organization have looked at the offensive line as, we'll get to it later. Well, guys, it's later. I can't fathom what we're doing with our offensive line. And it's not an insult to any of our offensive linemen. It's just that quite honestly, we need more talent. Or we need the players we have to step up big time, to make some leaps in their game and figure out some of the stuff that we've been slacking in. Today we had Aaron Brewer go down with an injury. Like I said about injuries, don't freak out too much. I'm not freaking out about the injury too much. But what does suck is that we have Liam Eichenberg, who was playing back at guard instead of playing center. And now that Aaron Brewer is out for the preseason game, Liam Eichenberg is going to be taking most of the snaps. Look for Andrew Meyer to take a little bit of the snaps as well. He's, I don't really know much about him yet. He hasn't taken too many snaps so far. But with this injury to Aaron Brewer, look in these preseason games to see what they have. watch for them to flip a lot of these players around and look for winning combinations. I really hope that we can get some players signed into our offensive line room just to kind of help get some more depth here. I mean, let's go through the starting five. And this is as of right now. You know, you have Teron Armstead, Isaiah Wynn, Aaron Brewer, Robert Jones, and Austin Jackson. Now, if we had all those players healthy all year, I wouldn't be too upset with this. I would be okay. We have Liam Eichenberg and Lester Cotton and Patrick Paul as solid backups to those, and I feel like I would be okay with that. But let's be real here, guys. There's going to be injuries on the offensive line. People get beat up in the trenches, and I feel like we need to add some more players here, especially the right guard, and center. We really need a right guard and a center. We're looking at Kendall Lamb is there too at right tackle, and we have Sean Harlow and Andrew Meyer, like I said, for the center. Jack Driscoll is a backup tackle. Driscoll can also play center. So like I said, we'll see what happens there, but I really, really think that the weak spot, obviously, for our team right now is our offensive line. And I would just love nothing more than for our players that we have to step it up and start making people say, hey, they're not doing too bad. That's what I want to see. I want to see them give time for Skylar and give time for Mike White to make some plays. And I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. It's going to be fun to watch. Hopefully everybody enjoys the game tomorrow. I know I'm going to enjoy it. As soon as I get off work, I'm racing home, and I'm going to put the game on and watch. Like I said, I'm going to be mainly watching that offensive and defensive line, just because it's, I'm more familiar with that, paying attention to the tight ends too. But I think that's everything I have for you guys tonight. Enjoy the game. Remember, if you like the video, if you want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe. Help get me going here. I know I just started, so if you see my video, give it a like, give it a subscribe if you can. Comment on the video. Tell me what you think. If you think I'm stupid, let me have it. I can take criticism. If you agree, let me know. Let me know what you agree with. Let's talk about it. Anyway, from North Pole, Alaska, thanks, guys, and we'll talk to you guys next time.